Hello and welcome to your latest Skylines Sunday. Now, in our last episode, we spent the entire time exclusively over here. We created our university district, we created our big national zoo, and what took the most time and anguish on the episode was this, our space elevator, which has a ridiculous amount of infrastructure just to connect it. The reason being because, as you can see, tons of people, all tourists, I do believe, they come over here and they need spaces to get out of their cars, fold up their cars, put them in their pockets, and then get on the space elevator. They don't tend to drive away from the space elevator so much, but they'll get here. They'll take the train to where they're going, or they'll take the train somewhere else. Then they'll take their car out of their pockets, unfold them, drive them, and then drive their cars back. So I don't know how that works exactly, but long story short, in order to not have traffic jams everywhere, we need multiple spaces for people to come and get out of their cars. So yeah, and we also need multiple forms of mass transit to get people to where they're going. So yeah, we managed to do that. I made a nice little tree barrier around it. So yeah, we can consider that to be a completed task. Now we move on, and I must say that, believe it or not, we are actually in the later stages of this Let's Play. I know, it's sad, but everything must come to an end eventually, but at least we are not, right at the end. There's still plenty more to do. So, what we have here in our independent city-state of Dabao is we have a lot of development potential, and, we don't have limitless potential, because eventually we will hit the build limit, where we cannot place any more roads or anything else. It is unpredictable when it happens. I think it will probably happen between 3 and 400,000 somewhere, but I can't tell you where. It could happen a lot sooner, it could happen a lot later, but my goal is to complete the city in terms of just having all the major projects done before we reach that point. And so, in order to do that, I want to make a catalog of the things that we have yet to do. A more or less comprehensive catalog. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of that, and we are about to change the screen, so stay tuned. Okay, here we are. Whoa, that's different. You're being looked at, by the way, so behave. Anyway, what we have here is we have a nice little notepad to write down all the things we have to do. So, city, state of Dabao, plans. And we are going to list everything we have to do as we go. It's going to be pretty cool. So, we're going to start up here. We have, oh, and by the way, I wanted to point out that I finally oriented the map with the sunset to find out what is what direction. This is apparently the south. So, we're going to have, and by the way, the thing will slide everywhere all the time. So, step 1 is southern area of capital city. So that's the first thing. And then we're going to come over here. We have, we'll come back to this at the end, I think, because this is the biggest unknown area. What we need to do is, let's see, well, that's south, that's east. So this area over here, we're going to call, well, we'll see what the game decides to call it and see if we like it. The city of Fawn Heights. Now, it's not Heights. Like I said before, I think there should be an AI thing that determines, wait a minute, this is a low-lying area. We should not be calling this Heights or anything. We should be calling it some sort of lowland. So, we're going to call this Fawn Valley. Oh my. That is a good idea. So, there we go. Fawn Valley. Now, keep in mind, not every area will be urbanized. But, so here's what we're going to do. Urbanized areas. And then we're going to have other categories that we work on. Now, I still said this for the end, but I kind of feel like we should do something with this now. What I think we should do. This is the southeast corner of the city, right? So the southeast corner, I think I want to have other areas, and this will be southeast corner, 2 or 3 small towns. And also, we need a national forest. I am thinking that we take some area, maybe here, maybe over there, we preserve it from any kind of logging or any kind of commercial activity in perpetuity. Now, having said that, I think we should also have a logging area southeast. Alright, you understand? Okay, very good. Then we need to have some sort of... I am thinking over here, we're going to have development. We might have more than one kind of development. We have a some industrial potential here. So, this is another urbanized area that I'm going to declare is this region, Smith Square. Alright, so we're going to make Smith Square another area that we categorize. Now, over here is kind of fun because I think there's multiple potentials here. Now, I don't think we're going to go too deep into here, but the waterfront area, as well as a portion of the other area, I think this will be urbanized. So we're going to... Oh, we're naming it after a place in New Jersey, aren't we? Elizabeth, okay. So we're going to have Elizabeth over there. So that's our southwest district covered. Now, we have some islands that we haven't built on yet, or we have not built enough yet. So, for example, Walnut District is partially built, but it is mostly empty. So we're going to say complete Walnut District. Great. And now we have this island here, which looks a little bit like, I don't know, it's like a little bit cypress-shaped, maybe. So we're going to do that. Elm Heights, once again, not a Heights. I don't know what the game is thinking here. We're going to call this New Cypress. Why not? So, New Cypress for our friends. And then over here we have Highland Hills, which is so inaccurate that I'm going to keep it. That's because it's ridiculous. Complete Highland Hills. Alright, next we have this area over here, which, with a park that we have put down for building a long time ago, but have never built. So I'm not sure what's going to go here, but let's see what name the areas give it. By the way, we can change names. I mean, I would suggest that you can suggest names, but by the time this episode airs, I might have already built these, so I don't know. Ivy Square, I kind of like that, though. So, we have that. Alright, we have all that assembled. Oh, look at this. We can just do this one of these days. We don't have to write that down. Now, this conspicuous area over here is actually part of no area. It's kind of funny. I did always intend to build over here, just not very much. So, we're going to go ahead and... we're going to go ahead and zone the... or not zone it, but we're going to mark it. Very good. And this is the Cedar District. Oh, I should probably... yeah, this stuff gets to be in the district that already exists. So, Cedar District. Very good. Alright, so this right here is an obvious little area where we can put some forestry industry. Manor Hills. So we have another logging area. We have other industry stuff like embedded within some of these. One thing to keep in mind for what's going to be urban versus what's not going to be urban is where you see infrastructure already built, like rails and monorails. It's going to be a fair bet that there's going to be some degree of urbanization in the area. So we have that. Alright, we need to... Alright, the thing is, like, everything I said here, I'm fine with these all being urban. Like, these are all urban districts. But I think that we can say, suburban areas. These are areas that are still going to be, like, urbanized, but they're going to be, not as dense. And I think one of these areas will be here. This whole area here is going to be suburban. So we are going to go ahead and do this, which means there will be like more spacious areas, less high density, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's going to go all the way back here, all the way around here. Ideally, I would like to have every part of the city be within a district at some point. So, by the way, we have this over here, which, we're going to say this is part of Manor Hills. There might be some residential here. So there we go. It's all part of something. So, suburban areas. Willow Square. Not Willow Farm from Genesis, part of Supper's Ready, but Willow Square. Alright, so what we have here is this remaining area, which will also be suburban, which will be approximately here. I kind of like these wacky shapes. It gives you a true lived-in world feel, I believe, when you have shapes that are not exactly, not precise and not rigid. We have wiggly gigglies up here. I like the idea that some areas like this might have like a little bit of, just a little bit of industry in them. So we have Elk District as a suburban area. Very nice, very chill. And then, ooh, this over here is more urban suburban, I think. But I think it's more urban than suburban, so we'll put this area into the urban mix. Of course, you know, I do reserve the right to modify anything that I have already put down. So, you know, don't take everything I do as final. You know, there's still plenty of opportunities for changes. Changes. Good song. But anyway, Hickory Park. I do worry that like some of these areas are going to be what's it called? Have similar names to other areas. We do have Elizabeth Heights and Smith Park, which are technically suburban, urban suburban. So we'll put them in suburban here. We have but we might keep in mind that they are going to be more urbanized, potentially. Alright. Now we have the Highlands District. Oh yeah. one of the only urban districts, which we could call more suburban urban, that exist within the hills. So, yeah, this exists within the valley, but We gotta be careful because this exists only within the hills, and we already determined that this exists within the city of Sunset Heights. So, nope, we aren't going to be doing that. Everything here. Everything here is within, is still within the city, but we have to ring it around. Ring around the ring man. Okay. There we go. I love little oddities like this, right? Little areas that are like within areas that are surrounded by areas. I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, yeah, this, we'll be careful to keep, this is a Highlands only district. So we're going to call this Myrtle Heights. So, urbanized areas. I'm putting it under the urban list because I do want it to be as developed as I can get it. It's going to be pretty special in that way. Now, this area over here, I think it's fair to say we have sort of two areas here. One will be urban, one will be suburban. So, what I'm thinking is, instead of using the highway, yeah, we'll use the rail here at least. We're gonna make a line here, and yeah, we're gonna comb this neatly. We're gonna comb her hair, not her hair. Her hair is perfectly combed. But the hair of the district is not combed. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But, yeah, we're going to make that over here. And we are going to do this. Yes. We do have an area over here, though. So, who's going to get that? I don't know, actually. I'm going to be honest. Alright. So what we're going to do is Elizabeth Park. We already have an Elizabeth. We're going to call this John Denver. Why not? Okay. So John Denver will be urban. I mean, the city of Denver is urban, so why not John Denver? Okay, anyway, we are going to go and we are going to selectificate all of this area. Like this. And we are going to get, what, Holly Hills. It's not a hills, and I'm pretty sure we've already had Holly. We're going to call this, well, we can keep it Holly, but we'll call it Buddy Holly Valley. Alright, so, Buddy Holly Valley will be listed under suburban. Because we will not have this be fully urbanized. And then we have, well, I'm thinking that we could have some sort of park here. But I don't want it to be like a super developed park. It's going to be a pretty chill park. It's not going to be as much as Bob Heights or whatever we call that other one. But yeah, we'll have that. We'll actually have that over here. Sweet. We were talking about what this is going to be. We'll make this part of that too. So we're going to call this Parks. Rosewood City Park. There we go. Very good. Now, we need a little park here. I've actually had this in mind for a very long time. a little park here, which will in fact extend across the way here. One thing I have noticed is that, I guess because we have more people in the city, more water is being produced out of the same amount of spouts, which means we're getting many, many more floods. And this might not be, I mean, this happened off camera, but we had so many floods down here that the highway was being blocked by water at various points. So I actually put one directly on the water. I put one over here. And if you see, this is actually elevated because the water is pooling down here. So I lowered the land a little bit so it goes under the road, and so the water can be collected when there's excess. But anyway, reservoir management, that was kept unurbanized because of we're going to call this, I think we are going to call this, Reservoir Point Park, right? I like that. Oh, look, it's spelled wrong. Okay. So we have multiple parks out in this area. Alright, so we have that under control. We are really zoning it in today. And when I said we're almost done, I mean, no, we're kind of not. I mean, do you see how many places that we have? But like I said, a lot of these are going to be like 2-minute doodle-dees. So, Cherry Heights, which I'm going to immediately rename to Cherry Valley, will be a suburban area. No, oh no, Cherry Valley. So that is what that will be, and I think we will have this area be a potentially have some industry. So this area back here, did we make this part of the park? I think we might have. Let's take a look. You know what? We're just going to make this all part of the park. I mean, I was thinking of putting a suburban area here, but look, there's like so little here. Who cares? So yeah, this is all part of a park. And then what we're going to do is we have the opportunity to make a little city in the valley here between these hills. So what this will be is a city Franklin district. We'll just call this the city of Franklin. So there we go, the city of Franklin. And it's very nice. And this area is also going to be a national protected land. So everything, we're going to say everything from here with Justice Road going through it and a few other roads up here. But this is how we keep some of the open land in our city. Remember, we are a city-state after all, so we definitely need areas that are guaranteed to be free from development in perpetuity, so that people might have somewhere not so crowded and not so crazy to go to. So that's going to be here. And I think it's also going to extend way back here. So, yeah, we are going to legislate a whole bunch of area into this protected zone. It's going to wrap all around here. So, where else will this go? I think, yeah, just there is probably enough, but we're going to call this we're in the north, right? So this is the North Hills Protected Area. And we are not going to put it on our list because it is not actually going to be urban or suburban. It's just going to be a zone where nothing is allowed to be made. Now, we do have an area here which is kind of encased within it, where we will be making development. Alright, let's see here. And now we can just go here. This area already has like most of its stuff. Most of its infrastructure is already in place, actually. So it's going to be an urban district, and it's going to be the Highland District. And the reason is because, well, it's already clearly urban. It's just asking for urbanness. Now over here we have some spots. And this is where we have to start getting into the idea that we can develop this. But should we? Because we are going to run out of stuff. So basically, we're going to declare anything that is here to be, we're in the northwest. So this is, in other areas, northwest corner, 2 or 3 small towns. I'm not going to say exactly where they are yet. We're going to determine that. But everything here is going to be pretty small. Alright. Now, over here, down in this area, we're actually very close to, like, the stuff we made way long ago. So what I will say is we're going to have a few small urban areas down here. That's why there's so many items on the list, because a lot of them are very small. Like Cherry Park. Very small, but also very existent. We are going to have over here, Now here's the thing. This whole area has a lot of infrastructure. So it would make sense to make it at least somewhat urbanized. But how urban is the question? What we're going to do is we're going to create one very large district, which is going to cover everything over here. It's going to cover everything up to there, over to here, down through here, and okay, well, considering this is sort of like on the edge of our area, we'll list it under suburban, although we might be doing some urbanization there too. Very good. So now we have what I think will be possibly the biggest national park in our game, in our city. So all of this, speaking of places that will be protected in perpetuity, Grove Park. Isn't that like from San Andreas? Grove Park. So we're going to call this Grove Park National Park. We are even going to come in here and name it. All right. Okay, so that's pretty cool. It's pretty groovy, or should I say grovy? Anyway, we are going to, we'll make a little town back here. And since, Foggy District, I like that. Since it's not really only a town, we're going to call it, we're going to put it in the suburban areas. And then over here is a great spot for a logging city. See all these trees? So what we're going to do is we are going to do that. Elm Heights, whatever, it's fine. And exactly what that's going to mean, we'll have to determine. Now, we do have a special case up here where we actually do have a city on top of the mountains. This will be a special place, I do believe. It's going to have highway and rail connection. So we're going to have that up here. And that's going to be an urbanized area. An urbanized area over here. And also, more protected national park land. Yeah, we are securing a lot of this for national parks. So we're going to call this Emerson National Park. Heck, we're going to call this, in honor of the great keyboardist, Keith Emerson National Park. All right. Very cool. And now we're starting to wrap around here. Now this area, we're skipping areas where we have New Ford here. We have this is the tricky area, right? Because I don't want this area to be too developed, but I also want it to be not much. So we're going to call all this area a suburban fringe. So all of this, Crescent Hills, sure, that's going to be listed under suburban areas. Very good. Okay, we already are back to the areas that we have. Empire Valley, we could say finish Empire Valley will be over here. So anywhere that we have this means that we have a district that is partially complete. We need to complete. Very good. All right. So we already have that. Are we done? Are we done? Has everything been categorized? Well, we have a slice here. So, all right. Here's what we're going to do. We also have New Ford. What we're going to do is... Alright, this area is kind of like a glitch. It's like, what do we do with this? What we're going to do is just take this whole area, and we are going to categorize it as Robin Hills, not Robin Hood, Robin Hills, which is, we'll categorize this as a suburban area. Very good. So I think that's it. Oh wait, we have one more island. Speaking of glitches, this almost escaped my attention. This was almost where the space elevator was located, by the way, but there would have been no way to manage traffic sufficiently here. This is kind of in the middle of everything, so Fairview Square is obviously going to be an urban district. Alright, so what we have here is a completed plan for finishing our city, except it's not, because we still have to finish Oingo Boingo, which, needless to say, is suburban. So we're going to finish that. And also, this area here is another glitch. It just sort of escaped our attention for this entire time. And this area already has most of its development in there, so Sycamore Hills will be it. That is how we roll. That is what we do. So, here's what we have. We have a completed list of all the things we have left to do. We have 19 urban areas. we have 11 suburban areas, we have 6 so-called other areas, and 4 parks. So that brings us to a grand total of 40 things that we have to do. My goodness. So yeah, we are basically done with the city. And I just made you watch an entire episode where I didn't do anything in the actual city. I just made districts and talked. My goodness. Well, I tell you what. I feel like I would be cheating if I would be cheating you, right? If I did not at least do one thing. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to use our friend Google to pick a number between 1 and 40. So, random number between 1 and 40. Are you ready? Ready, set, generate. 21, that's our number. If we look at our listy list, we can pretend that we have 19, 20, 21. So we have the Elk District suburban area. Where is that? That's up here. So this will be the thing that we do today. I think that's kind of cool. So let's just go ahead and do it.
My life has passed me by.
Well, there we have it. We have reached the end of the episode. And yes, it wasn't just an episode of looking at maps and crap. We actually made something. We made Elk District. Look at this. A little suburban place. It's kind of funny. It's like the context around it has not been made yet, but the district itself exists. And it's got, about 2,000 people in it. So things are working out well. And hey, wouldn't you know it, I added a little bonus in there for you. I did Manor Hills, which is mainly an industrial area over here. Although, I decided to put in a little residential. Oh no, they're sick. Oh well, there are hospitals nearby. Not to worry, people. Anyway, this does bring us to the end of the episode, and you might be wondering, in the future, am I going to be, just randomly picking what areas to work on? And the answer is not necessarily, but there might be some randomness thrown in there. If I have a specific idea for an area that I want to work on, then I will work on that area. But if I am lacking such an idea, then we will hit up the randomness and just enjoy our lives. So, I noticed there's like a there's a interesting. This doesn't reach all the way here, and I'll worry about that later. Anyway, this has been fun. I hope you enjoyed this, and we will see everybody next time. Goodbye.